Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery. Today I'm going to present to you a question from topic of surface tension from the book Pathfinder. The question has been slightly modified to suit our needs because I believe this is one of the best questions of surface tension which is close candidate to be appearing in the JEE Advanced. If you carefully observe the past 7 to 8 years of JEE Advanced questions on surface tension, you would see that JEE Advanced people are more interested in you people drawing the free body diagrams carefully in the surface tension. So we need to get a very good clarity on how you need to choose the free body diagram, and that's why I slightly modified the question, because I think in the actual book they have asked only one of the concepts, so I have doubled it up in this particular problem. So without much further ado, let me present to you the modified version of this surface tension question. Okay, so here it is. um, an amount of water is poured on top circular face of a horizontal glass cylinder. Excess amount of water spills over the edges and a little amount of water remains there in a thin uniform layer, a portion of which is shown in the figure. So this is the portion. So this is the table edge. Okay, so you need to believe that there is some figure into the board also here, like there is a small dx element and that is there, right? And actually this is a circle. There is a circular table, and this whatever is happening in this figure, you can rotate this picture for a circular symmetry. Okay, so that's the idea. Instead of just spilling over directly because of surface tension effects, you would see that there is an amount of liquid that would be protruding out and making an angle, obtuse angle, as you could see, a theta. Right. This experiment you can do even by putting some drops of a viscous and a drop of viscous oil on the top of a coin. Right. You keep adding drops at the end of it. Once the drops are becoming larger in number, instead of just drops coming out directly and falling over the coin, you would see a bulge in this manner. Okay, so that bulge is due to the concept of surface tension. So if, let's go ahead with the question. If contact angle is theta and the surface tension of water is sigma, so he's using sigma for surface tension during this topic, the vertical thickness of the water layer is, let's say, t, far away from the edge, he's saying. So this distance should be very large compared to the thickness t itself. The point in the plane of the diagram on the liquid where the liquid protrudes the most is D. So there is a curve here, right? So the farthest point, that point is labeled as D. Capital D is not the distance, it's a label of a point. The vertical depth of this point, capital D, from the horizontal free surface, so from the top to this point that I just spoke of, capital D, that vertical depth is labeled as small d. So small d is a distance. Rho is the density of water, g is the acceleration due to gravity. Then you need to solve for the values of small t and small d. T, again I repeat, is the overall thickness. Small d is the vertical depth of that farthest point on that bulge from the top. Okay, so just give it a try, pause the video, right? Those who have already solved this question from surface tension in Pathfinder, I would urge you that small d concept is not the part, so that has been added in this particular question. Okay, so right, so pause the video, try it out, and here's the solution. So we'll solve for the small t and small d in two parts by choosing two different FBDs. So let's start attacking for the small t, the entire thickness. So before we do that, all of you should be familiar with the concept from fluid statics that I have just pre-drawn, so that any person who has forgotten it will be able to revise this. Okay, so if you have a vertical area, right, or a planar area, it need not be even vertical, it could be even slant, and I have a pressure which is a variable because of the height or depth of a liquid, and you could see that the pressure here is P naught and pressure at the depth H is P naught plus rho g H. Then the thrust force would be due to a vector integration of all these linearly varying forces. After that integration, you could replace that entire distribution of force with a arithmetic mean of this top and bottom pressures. You could see this, if this is P1 and this is P2, this would be simply P1 plus P2 by 2. It's an arithmetic mean multiplied by area A acting on the center of mass of this particular shape. It's the center of mass of the shape. So this concept would be utilized in the free body diagram to solve for both small t and small d. Okay, so after revising this, let's move ahead. This is my first FBD, so solution required for small t calculation. So let's say this is the entire thickness, as you could see on the left of your screen, I'm going to cut this bulge out and only this protrusion that you are having. So there is a curved thing. It's not a semicircle, please understand. Some curve that I don't know of. Okay, so I'm not even interested in the name of it. So this particular thing, as you cut it out and draw the FBD here, let's try to see what are the horizontal forces acting on it. I'll try to talk about the equilibrium in horizontal direction. Okay, now first and foremost, you need to believe that whatever FBD I'm drawing, there is a depth to it into the board also. Into the board, there is a small DL length, because without that length, surface tension cannot be depicted on a free body diagram. So there is a small DL that I have taken here. Now, this topmost point, wherever you cut, there will be a surface tension force which would be acting perpendicular to that inward DL and trying to pull that liquid back. Okay, so that would be an alpha into DL. So even though he has taken sigma, I'm taking alpha as the surface tension. So sigma I'm not comfortable with, so I've changed the symbol for my convenience. So some of you might be using T and all that. Okay, so alpha into DL is the surface tension force on the top, right? Whereas even here, where does the surface tension act? Wherever there is an interface in this context between the air and liquid. Okay, so at this place again a cut is made. You could see tangential to that again a pull force of alpha into DL that is depicted in red will act here. The overall obtuse angle that he gave, right? Let me mark it for your convenience. This entire angle, can you see in the left of the diagram? I have marked it as theta. That theta was given. So in terms of that theta, this angle, because I would be requiring a component of that, this angle, which is acute, is theta minus 180. Okay, right? So this particular angle, sorry, I should have represented it as 180 minus theta. Okay, right? So that should be 180 minus theta. Okay, right. Right, perfect. So this would be 180 minus theta in that particular direction. Right. So apart from that, these blue forces, let's try to understand what are these blue forces. These blue forces are thrust forces. From atmosphere, there would be a thrust force of P atmosphere, which I depicted as P naught, multiplied by the projection area on this side. This projection area would be same as this projection area. Remember, this one looks like a line in your vision, but there is a DL depth to it. Therefore, this is a rectangular area of thickness T into depth DL. So the projection area is length into breadth, which is thickness into DL. Same thing on this side. From the previous slide, I'll argue that if the top is the P naught and the at a depth here it is P naught plus rho gt, I'll write an arithmetic mean of that particular pressure, which is P naught plus rho gt. You could see in the FBD I'm writing it down, multiplied by that projection area T into DL. Okay, so sum of all the leftward forces should be in equilibrium with the rightward forces. So for that, the required equation would be, let me write all the leftward forces first. So I'm writing it at the bottom. Could see alpha DL to the left and alpha DL cos of 180 minus theta that I have in that figure. These are both leftward forces, and another leftward force is the atmospheric pressure force, which is P naught into TDL. All of this should be supporting the thrust force to the right, which is P naught plus rho gt divided by 2 into TDL. Okay, I think you can quickly cancel the P naught TDL term with this P naught part, and also throughout the thing after canceling this, you can cancel the DL throughout. Okay, so this is also done. And you could see that this cos of 180 minus theta is nothing but minus cos of 180 minus theta is minus cos theta. So you would have alpha times of 1 minus cos theta. Okay, and on the right hand side you would have a t square term. Can you see there is a t square term? So 2 will come on this side and divided by rho g. So this 2 divided by rho g, and entire thing would be equal to t square, and therefore without any further doubt you would be able to write a square root of all of this is your required value of t. So this is your required answer. Don't worry that there is a minus cos theta. You should understand theta is obtuse. So this is actually going to be a number which is more than 1, because these two forces actually add up in that direction. So that minus takes care of the obtuseness of the angle. So this is the first answer. Now for the second FBD, this is the interesting part. Because you have to involve the depth D from the farthest point. This was the point capital D, right? So from that point, I've taken a chunk like this. you could see far away place I have taken a distance small d. So I'm going to take this time a slightly larger FBD. Okay, I'm not going to only cut it off here. I'm going to take some part from this entire thing. So that entire chunk cut out, you could see I've drawn a second FBD at this particular place. Whereas now the FBD's depth in the vertically downward direction is small d. This is only a small d version. Now the same force of atmosphere would be P naught into dl, this time into d only, which is a vertical depth, and topmost point alpha dl will still act, right? I don't have another alpha dl here. Please understand, alpha dl won't act here because it's the bulk of the liquid. So there will be only one surface tension force, unlike the previous FBD, which is a very important point to make. And then the usual arithmetic mean of the pressure thrust force here into dl into d. So the same stuff, if I now use the leftward forces equal to rightward forces, again make the usual cancellations, so the P naught term gets cancelled here and here, and dl terms get cancelled here and here, you could see. And again you'll end up getting d square term this time, but the value of d this time would be simply equal to a square root. This time there won't be any cos theta term, right? So that's the most important point to make here. Okay, so it would be a square root of a simple 2 rho 2 alpha, I should say, 2 alpha divided by ICA rho g. That's it. So sigma is alpha in this case. So these are the two required solutions. So you go back and try to mark the correct answers. That 1 minus cos theta term for t, I think this would be the correct answer, and this would be the correct answer. Okay, so I hope you have learned something about the drawing of FBDs in surface tension. I'll come up with more videos on different situations where this FBD practice is very, very important as for JEE Advanced concern. Okay, so see you in the next video. Right, thank you.